Oh, hi. I am ridiculously late today. I just realized I forgot to ask Christy if she's going to send the text. Christy, you sending the text. I think she messaged me. Today I'm a little bit late. Okay, just went live. Send the text to the entire list, please. Okay. Oh, just went live. Don't know why that first message I sent didn't send. Okay. Alrighty, so here we are. Yay! So here's why I'm late today, because Alex and I are starting our new routine, which is super exciting because we've been here now for, we just got back, and I gotta tell you, I need a routine. Oh my god, I need a routine so bad, so much more than I thought I would actually need a routine. Hi, Elisa. Wait, where are my comments? Why don't I see the comments? Don't we have a little commenty thing? Chat box? Where is it? Where is chat box? Chat box? Aha! There it is. There's chat box. Let's move chat box there. I was like, where's chat box? Chat box is so important. Hi. Good to see you, Jennifer. Hello, hello, everyone. So good to see you guys. So late today because of my new schedule, where Alex and I are going to the gym together. And so, we basically, hi Dawn, good to see you. So basically, we both woke up this morning, we set our alarms, and he was snoring, so I had to sleep on the couch. So I heard his alarm, look, my alarm went off, I heard him go, woo, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta get up. Accountability is so important when you're doing these things. Oh my God, so important. And so him and I went to the gym today. And so everything, my whole day got thrown off a little bit. As you can tell, my hair isn't even done into whatever it was I was going to try to turn it into. I was going to actually try to make it a mohawk. Literally everything is just so not even the way it's supposed to be right now, but that's fine. Including my hair. That's fine because, hey, I went to the gym. Winning. Went to the gym. Hi. Hello, Grand Rising LaFern. Okay. So, today we're going to be talking about something super fun. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Okay, great. Today we're going to be talking about something super fun, which is, this idea that you need to have a lot of followers and you need to have a high numbers. Now I'll be really honest with you because of the, oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh no, I went over there to turn off the fan and then I was like, is the fan still on? I can't tell. Hi, hello, Kim, good to see you. The elves made their appearance today. They're setting up the bay window for you. Hallelujah. Hi, Marlene, hello. So one of the things that there's something that actually inspires me to do this kind of a post. Because I was actually going to talk about something else today. And then I saw a post in a group that I'm in, and I honestly can't remember which group it was, but one of the groups that I'm in, someone made a post that said, hey guys, let's support each other, right? So one of the business owners went in and said, hey guys, let's support each other. I'm going to, here's my Instagram feed. Let's all follow each other on Instagram. And I've seen this in Women Helping Women's Entrepreneurs. I've seen this in the Boutique Hub. I've seen this in direct sales, leader groups. I've seen it everywhere. Literally there is no business group that I have seen that is protected from this idea that the more followers you have, the more successful you'll be. And what's really hard for me when I see this is not to scream at the top of my lungs, please don't do this. Please don't do this. This is the equivalent of you handing somebody a gun and putting your business in front of it and playing Russian roulette. And forget about it. Russian roulette, where half the chambers have bullets in them. Okay. So even more of a chance. You are so guaranteed to destroy your business doing those kinds of activities that when I see it, my heart breaks because I know what you are setting yourself up for. And for many years, I tried to when I would see those posts, I would write to the person who made the post. I would write something on the post. I would reach out to the owner of the group. I'd be like, listen, I don't usually do this. Usually I just kind of sit back and I'm like, all right, everybody can do their thing and whatever, and we'll just figure it out as we go. This is such a business killer that I feel so strongly about it. I have to say something. I have to say something, but it doesn't matter. I will tell you, I've never been successful. Not once have I been successful in any of these spaces where I reach out and tell somebody this, because for the most part, they're like, yeah, okay, fine. And then just go off and do whatever it is that they're going to do anyway. And at that point, it's like, all right, well, what am I going to do? Right? It's fine. There's nothing I can do to help at that point. But this fallacy, this lie, this myth, this misconception is still out there, and it's so big that it's like people believe it in their souls, in their spirits. Like when I say don't try to chase more followers, it's like, what is wrong with you, Vanessa? Are you on crack? Do you have a fever? Like, should we check on you? Should you even be a coach if you're saying stuff like that? Yes, I should. In fact, that's why I am a coach, is because I know that and a lot of other people don't, right? So that's Jennifer. Jennifer has a great business. Her follower count is not relevant to that. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about today during the podcast is, why that doesn't. So where did this come from? First of all, because nobody's out there saying, I want to destroy your business. Let me give you bad advice, right? Nobody's doing that. Nobody is saying, I want to destroy my business, so I really, really have to do this. Like, that's not why anybody does it. So it's coming from it's coming from a very good place in all cases, right? It's coming from a place of oftentimes wanting to help. Like, oh, I know how to fix this. This is how you fix it. So why do we believe that something that is such a business killer can actually help you? Like, if it's almost like me handing you a cyanide pill and saying, here, take this, you'll feel better. And you're like, are you insane? Right? How do you get to a point where you think that, right? How do we get there? So I want to actually use a different example than cyanide. I want to use the example of heroin and opium. Back in the day, opium and heroin were things that they would give you if you weren't feeling well. Radium was something that they would give you if you weren't feeling well. Oh, you're not feeling well? Here, have a little bit of heroin. You'll be fine, right? No, you'll feel fine. It'll do wonders for your hyperactivity. Yeah, of course it will, right? That was because they didn't know what they needed to know then, right? Now, obviously, as years go by, they figure out, oh my God, heroin is like really, really bad. You don't want to be giving it to people just because they have a cold. Like, it's not really a cold medication. Same thing is true for Facebook, and just a little heroin. Just have a little bit of heroin, you'll be fine. It'll take care of that hyperactivity, no problem, right? That's just not how it works. Same thing is true in our businesses, but unless someone actually tells you that and gives you the information that you need, you're going to keep thinking that heroin is healthy, right? Somebody has to tell you that, otherwise you will not know otherwise. Somebody has to research, somebody has to study, somebody has to figure it out, and then the person who figures it out, or the people who figure it out, because usually it's multiple people who figure these things out at the same time. Even things like math, like the number 0, that was discovered in the same place, in multiple places at the same time. Calculus, discovered multiple places at the same time. When something is a universal truth, it gets discovered eventually, right? By multiple people. So it's not like, oh, one person's super awesome and the other person sucks. It's really just like, oh, look, we happen to be in that space where, oh, I figured that out. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then we share the information. So for social media and business, that's me, right? I mean, there's other people too, but I'm offering myself up for that. So today's podcast is going to be all about, how did this happen? How did we get here, and how can we get out of here? Okay. Alrighty. So Marlene says, I just want to jump in really quick and see what we've got here is, hi, Colleen. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing? Margie says, I've seen over 200 viewers on someone's live and she had no sales. Margie, I'm so glad that you said that, because I'm going to use that as an example later on. That's because I've seen that myself. I've seen people with 600 viewers. It's just no sales, none whatsoever. I've seen people with 10, 20, 30,000 followers on their page. They make almost no money. I've seen people with 78 followers who are making 6 figures a year. The number of followers you have is completely irrelevant to how successful you're going to be. And we're going to talk about exactly why that is. Because I understand that, like, I know why it works, but I'll tell you something. If I was on the flip side, I'd be like, okay, listen, I believe you because I trust you, but I'm going to need a little bit more, because I need to understand why, because just saying the words is great, but I need to know why. So I'm going to tell you exactly why, right? I'm going to tell you exactly why, and then how she can change this. So Elisa, do me a favor. Can you get this in her feed? Share this with her. So just before I jump on and start doing the podcast part, just so you know, we record the podcast live. Just go ahead, share this with your teams, your friends, whatever, whoever it is that's in business, that you feel is struggling with the same things, because this is going to be really important and really powerful for them. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. So, is there stuff we can learn from each other? So is ever okay? Like if we're all in the same industry, event supply planning, and there's stuff we can learn from each other, is it okay to follow each other on Instagram and Facebook? Yeah. So it's like, it's a different thing if it's like, okay, I'm going to go follow Colleen because I want to know, or like I'm going to go follow another coach because I want to know what they're doing. That's just me following because I want to learn something from someone else. That's fine. That's very different from doing a campaign to get everyone to like you regardless of whether they're your audience or not. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later for sure. Kim says, agree. Sometimes we have 60 people on and sell out of everything. Oh my God. And then sometimes you'll have more people on and don't sell anything. It's just sort of how it is. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, Margie, I'm so glad you love the podcast. Okay. So we're about to get started with the podcast. So just so you know how we do this, I'm basically going to go live. And then when I'm going live, I don't look at any of the comments, but I would love for you to ask questions, give your feedback, like really just talk amongst yourselves while we're doing this. Like I want this to be more than just me talking head. When I come back out of the podcast, I'm going to look at what you guys talked about, and then I'm going to jump in on the conversation, answer some questions, help out. But like, this is a really good opportunity for us to kind of talk through some of these things. And I really do want to know what some of the things are that you do to reach numbers, because I know the ones that I see, but there may be some that I haven't seen, right? That you guys are doing that you don't know if it's hurting or helping you, that maybe you want me to research and be like, hey, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Feel free to ask, no problem. Because whether it's like a helping you or hurting you, it's good to know. So you can start with whatever the next step is. Okay. Alrighty, so here we go. We're gonna do this now. Let me open up my Here we go. All right, ready? All right, and action. All right, I waited too long for action. Okay, and action. Okay, all right. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Stop Shitting All Over Yourself podcast, the place where you come to stop doing all the things in your business. One of the things that I have found as a business owner is that I am constantly telling myself that I should be doing something, or that I feel like I should not have done something. Even if I'm in the middle of doing something, like right now, I'm like, oh, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. Other times I find myself doing things that I do just because someone told me that I should do them. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is the thing I should be doing. But I haven't really seen any results from it in a long time. Over the years, I've had a number of these things appear, and it made me realize that there are a lot of things that all of us are doing in our businesses that really you don't need to be doing. When you get rid of them, you find that you have more time, you make more money, you have more customers, everything is better in your life. And a lot of these things that you hang on to because you feel like you should do them were really more like pacifiers, or almost like self-soothing techniques that you did to make yourself feel like you were doing something for your business. But really it was just a pacifier. It wasn't giving you any actual nutrition into your business. And this is really normal for business owners, but it's important that we be aware of what those things are, so that you or I or anyone who finds themselves in that position can be like, okay, do I really want to be doing this, or can I discard this? So today we're going to talk about this belief that we all have, or we all had, or somebody, whether you have it or have it now, or had it before, that in order for you to be successful, you need a lot of followers. Okay, so you need a lot of followers, which means that if you feel like you need a lot of followers, you're going to be taking on a lot of activities that help you get followers, whatever those may be. So that could be Facebook ads, that could be like ladders, that could be loops, and we're going to go into them in more detail later on. They could be like doing giveaways for shares, tags, like for like. There's a whole lot of different things that people do to get more followers just for the numbers. But each of those activities takes time, right? It takes time out of your day. So if you're spending like, say, half an hour going out and prospecting and inviting all of your friends on your list to like your page, then that's half an hour you haven't spent on something else that would actually make you money. And what I found over the years with my clients and people who I've worked with is that we're spending a lot of time chasing followers that won't ever give us the lift that we're looking for, the income or the engagement. And when I first realized this several years ago, I remember I went to oh my God, what was her name? Kelly Mirabella's site, and she didn't have the number of followers that I thought she quote unquote should have, based off of her success and the amount of money she was making and how well she was doing. And I was like, this just doesn't make any sense to me. How is it that you can have few followers and be doing so well? And this was probably in 2017, right? And so I'm looking at this and I'm realizing that, okay, wait a minute. If I've seen more people like this, it's not just her. There's a lot of people I've seen who I know the money they're making. because we've talked. I know their profit margin. I know what's going on, and they don't have many followers. I'm like, how is this happening? If that's the case, then something is off, right? So it's like, what is off here? Because until that point, I had just been chasing followers. The thing is that social media is a changing landscape. And we all know that, like, generally speaking, but when it comes down to the activities that we do on a day-to-day basis, we don't really think about how that impacts our day-to-day workflow, right? Running a business is a very, very challenging thing in and of itself. But then when you're also trying to figure out how to stay on top of social media, it's chaotic, right? Now, hold on one second. I just realized we're going to have to cut this out. Hold on. What did I even write here? Sorry, this podcast, this is what happens when you do this. What? This is... Oh, okay. I know this is last week's. I was like, this isn't right for this week's. This isn't right for this week's. Okay, we're going to cut all that out for when we do the actual podcast part. Okay. So, sorry about that, guys. Okay. Look, it was a long morning. I'm a member of a lot of networking and social groups on Facebook, right? And I've been in a lot of team pages and direct sales pages. And when I'm in those groups, one of the types of posts that really sort of gets my goat, and this is not a term I use often, but that's actually literally the term that came to mind when I thought of this. So I was like, all right, I'll use it, right? Is posts like, let's support each other. Drop your link and we'll follow each other. Okay, so you've probably seen that post somewhere where everybody then puts their link in and everyone follows them. Where you may have had events that are called loops. I don't know if people do them anymore, but there's still things where if you're in a brand new direct sales company, this is definitely something that's going to pop up, where you do a group sale of like 5 or 6 business owners doing the sale together. And then, part of the event itself is that you have to follow the pages for all the people who are selling in that particular event. Maybe you've heard from your upline or from other coaches, make sure that you're doing giveaways for shares, that you're asking your followers to share everywhere. You want as many shares as possible. You really have to get a lot of shares. So you're looking for shares to get as many followers or viewers as you can. Okay. Now I'm going to use the term followers, and I might draw the distinction between viewers at some point in time, but really right now we're just talking about the numbers. I'll draw the distinction when it's necessary, but usually these things they're going to be hand in hand. Do giveaways for adding people. That's another big one where it's like, I make a post that says, okay, guys, add 5 of your friends. And if you add 5 of your friends and tag them in here, then you'll be entered to win blah, right? So those are the kinds of things that I see in these groups a lot in terms of, oh my God, are you guys having trouble with engagement? Are you having trouble with reach? Are you having trouble with this? Here, try these things and this will increase, your sales. Now, the reason why these posts upset me so much is because honestly, these are the blind leading the blind. I see it and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? If you are the person who makes posts like these, please stop. Please stop making posts like these. And if you see posts like these, please just ignore them. These aren't just, it's harmless if I do it. These are, if you do it, you are stabbing your business in the foot repeatedly with a very dull knife that is quite painful and probably rusted. It's in bad shape, right? The actions that you take from these posts and that other people may take from these posts may actually give you like a quick boost because you're doing something different from what you were doing before. And when Facebook sees that you're doing something different than you were doing before, it rewards it. So you might see an immediate bump, but it won't last. It just does a quick reward and then it'll drop down because Facebook is actually also looking for a lot of other things. And if it doesn't get that feedback from the people, then it's not going to continue to show your stuff off. And in fact, it will, because of because of this activity and how it impacts the algorithm, it'll actually now start to diminish your reach even more. It might give you a brief boost because you're feeling like, because you're trying something new, you feel more confident, you feel better. And so you show up more confidently and you show up more excited. And as a result, your audience is more enthused. So you may see a bump from there, but that usually doesn't last also. Or it just won't work at all. And it will just continue to push your reach and engagement down further and further. I will tell you, when I see those posts, there are going to be anomalies where there are people who do well despite doing these things. But for the most part, when I see those posts, I know that the people who are engaging in that post are going to have a very, very hard time in their business moving forward. It does not, it actually makes things so much harder for you. It doesn't create the freedom and ongoing sales that will give you the feeling that you're looking for your business. In fact, these activities will keep you in a position where the way that you're working now, the amount of time that you have to work now, the amount of things that you have to do now, the exhaustion that you feel, that will be the way you always have to work. Okay. So if this is the way that you are growing, then you will be working like this for the rest of your life until you decide to do something else with you. You're not creating freedom, you're creating shackles. Okay. And this is really important, right? Let that sink in. You're looking for some kind of future that you dream of. And these actions are the ones that will keep you from that future. Okay. They're keeping you from the future. But why? This is the question, right? This is the big question. Okay. And this is, you got to ask yourself. You're probably asking yourself now, why do we do these things? Right? Okay. So I get it. So let's say you're like, yes, I get it. I hear you, Manessa. I'm totally on board. This is why are we doing that? I shouldn't be doing these things, but I am curious. Why did we even start if they're so bad? If these things are so bad that it's like taking poison, why do we even do these things? Right? Here's why. The reason why we do these things is because prior to 2017, so the entire decades before 2017 with social media, it was a very different ballgame in that Facebook had the algorithm written, as did everybody else, Twitter and Instagram and everybody, was about the numbers. Okay. It was about the numbers. The more numbers you had, the better. So the goal was always get as many followers as you can and make as many posts as you can. Okay. And then as long as you do those two things, you will grow. And that was the case for a very, very long time. So it's not like somebody just made this stuff up out of whole cloth and was like, oh, here, look, this will work. Sure. Look at these suckers. They're all going to believe it. That's totally not how it happened. The way that it happened is it worked. And it was the right thing to do for many, many years. And so we all did it for many, many years and it worked and everything's happy and we're all making money and it's fabulous. Yay. Right. Then 2017 comes. And when 2017 comes, it was April 2017. And seriously, I remember this is the April that will live on in infamy as Facebook released their new algorithmic rules. And their new algorithmic rules were exactly the opposite of what existed before. Now, quantity was your enemy. Now, it's about really, really honing in on your exact audience and some other very specific indicators that they talk about, right? And there's a link, by the way, in the description for this post on the live version that's done on the Direct to Success business page that has some resource links that will help you with this. That talking about what kind of changes Facebook made and how they operate and how they impact you. But the key is that they did make those changes. And when they made those changes, suddenly the thing that became more important was the quality of what you're doing and how well you're able to connect with the people that you're trying to connect with, right? Now, back in the day, the reason why numbers worked is because when things are new, right? It doesn't matter what you're selling or what you're doing. The new hotness is enough to get people doing what they're doing. Like when Facebook was brand new, we were all excited just to poke each other, right? If somebody could sell me something on Facebook, that's mind blowing. Take all my money. When something is new, you're just going to do it because it's so fun and new. But after social media had been around for a really long time and social selling became a thing and it had been around for a really long time, now suddenly the newness, the hotness wore off. And so now people were leaving the platform. So Facebook hired a bunch of psychologists and a whole bunch of behavioral analysis, blah, blah, blah. And they basically stated the things that we talk about now, which is that people will leave if they do not feel emotionally engaged and they don't feel like they are part of a community and relationships. And so as a result, Facebook changed the algorithm, right? So now it's really more about quality. But not everybody has gotten to that space yet, right? Because when I talk about quality, I don't just mean quality of the post that you're writing. I mean quality of the audience person that you're looking for, right? So every single one of you who is on here, and when I say quality, I don't mean good or bad. I mean quality in terms of good fit for me, right? Or good fit for you. So you guys are all here because you are a good fit for me, right? You are a quality consumer of my content because you enjoy what I put out. And I focus on putting content out specifically for you. And it creates a symbiotic relationship between the two of us where I give you what you want and you take it and you like it. And then you give me money later on for when I sell something. That's sort of how it works, right? Many other social media platforms are following suit as well to where they want you to be looking for people who are specifically your audience, and they want you to be creating content specifically for them. They don't want you to simply get all the people. Now, what happens? Okay, let's talk about who all the people are, right? Because like, if I have you, because you're my market and I know who you are, right? Let's say I go out there and I gather, but I think I have 10,000 followers on this page, 9 or 10,000. I'm somewhere there, right? So let's say I go out and I do one of these, like I put, say, $10,000 behind an ad to just get all of the most random likes in the world. And I also participate in a whole bunch of like ladders, and my follower count now becomes 30,000. Okay. So now I have 10,000, and I'm going to assume that only 5,000 people of this 10 are like my like hardcore, like people who follow me, who are looking at my posts, who are doing all the things, right? So 5,000 out of 10, which is 50%. When I get to 30,000, now I'm probably looking more at 30%, 33%, which is 10,000 people, but it's a lesser percentage. Okay. Now, why that's important is that Facebook shows your content to a percentage of people. Okay. So if you don't have your people in there, and you have 20,000 randos out there who are not interested ever in what it is that you're going to do, or they're all people who are in your industry, or they're all people who just said like just because, like, okay, I want to win something, or somebody added me to something or whatever, then that means that you have a higher likelihood of your content being shown to people who don't care than people who do care. Which means now, even if you spend a lot of time writing the perfect post, chances the people who need to see it seeing it are slim. So now, because you have higher numbers, you are going to have less reach, less engagement, because you're having a harder time hitting the right people. But if you have a smaller, more engaged audience, then more people show up that are actually the right people, which means that those people are the ones who will eventually give you money. Okay, so now we earlier were talking with Margie, and Margie was saying how she had seen somebody who had 200 viewers, but no sales. Meanwhile, my sister can have 60 viewers and sell out her entire rack. It's not about the numbers. It's about the people that are there. And as long as you're focusing on the numbers, business is going to be very, very hard for you. Very, very hard for you. Okay. So what is the solution, right? So if it doesn't matter how many people you have, right, and it is the kind of content that you provide those people with, then what exactly are we doing? How should you approach it? Okay. So here's how you want to approach it. The first thing is you don't want to think about what to say, when to say it, or how many people you can get. Okay. What to say, when to say it, or how many people you can get. Those are not the key important things. Okay. What is important is who you're talking to, and why you want to talk to them in the first place. Okay. So to say this again, like in a different way, the pressure that you're putting on yourself right now about what to say is irrelevant. You're putting that pressure on yourself. It doesn't need to be there. Okay. Because it's more about the why you're saying it, because the why will tell you what to say. There's no question about what to say when you know why you're saying it. So let me give you an example. We have a few different things, let's say, that people sell. You can sell clothing, your coach, your makeup, food. Let's start by using me as an example, right? Why do I want to talk to you in particular? Okay, who are you and why do I want to talk to you? When I was a LuLaRoe retailer, what I've discovered was that the people that I was surrounded by were women, moms, underappreciated, had a brilliant, motivated, dedicated, like I think of them as mama bears, right? As the ones who will do anything and whatever it takes to make sure that they are taking care of their family, right? Those are the people that I was surrounded by. Great, fabulous women. Problem with the women is that they felt like they were failures because they weren't seeing the results they wanted to, right? And then over the last several years, this is like, it started at LuLaRoe, but I've seen it since then in boutiques. I've seen it in coaching. I've seen it in small retail shops. It's all over the place. This is not a unique to LuLaRoe. That's just where I was introduced to it. That there are so many brilliant, dedicated, driven women who now have an opportunity to run a business, but I realized what I learned there was that you weren't being given the training that you needed, and you weren't being given the information that you needed. And a lot of the information you were being given was regurgitated old information that was going to hold you back. And so, but best of intentions, but it was still holding you back, right? So now you've got all these great qualities in terms of running a business, but it's being stomped into the ground and destroyed because you're not being given the training that you need. Again, like I said, this is across the board. I just happened to learn it in that space. So I was like, oh my God, like I saw myself in you because I felt the same way. I saw my mother in you because I saw how she had a business and she also struggled with these things, right? I actually forgot she had a business. She made bookends and things like that, like wooden, so cute. I have a bunch of her stuff, but I saw myself in you. I saw my mom in you, but I also saw that I knew how to fix it. I knew the solution. I was like, oh my God, as I started to study, I'm like, oh my God, I get this. And over the years, I've only gotten better and better at it. But I started because I wanted to help you enjoy the process of running a business again. I wanted to help you get back to that space that you felt in the first 3 months when you started your business, where you were like, oh my God, I'm so happy and I'm so excited. All those things. That's what I wanted to help you get to, right? So I know who you are. And I know why I started my business. Okay, so those are 2 things that I know, okay? So what I write is going to be based entirely off of why I'm running the business, right? I don't need to post all the time or post all the things. I just need to make sure that I'm talking to a specific person about a specific problem, right? So today's live is just that. I didn't agonize over what I should say. For me, it's why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because I don't want you to feel like a failure under the weight of 10,000 followers and 0 sales, right? So that's my why. So my what I'm going to say becomes easy after that. So the question that you want to ask yourself is, why do you want to talk to your audience, right? Like whatever you sell, whether it's clothes, you're a coach, you do makeup, food, whatever it is, direct sales. Why do you want to talk to your audience? If it's just to sell, then that's your problem. If it's just to sell, then that is 100% your problem. People aren't buying because all you're trying to do is sell, and that turns people off. So that right there and then, your problem is, right? And I'll get to how we can solve that in a minute, but that's the problem. Because here's the thing, Target also just wants to sell. Okay, so you just want to sell, and Target also just wants to sell. Target has $980 billion, million, I think it's $980 million, that they put towards their marketing. And you don't, okay? So now you have 2 people who just want to sell stuff, who have no other reason except I just want to sell. Target's always going to win. As small business owners, we have to have something else. We need something else because that's the little lever that gets us into our audience's world that then gets them to look at us instead of Target, right? So that they're not like, oh, I need to get candy for Halloween. I should go to Target. No. I need to get candy for Halloween. I should message Syra and see what she has coming, right? That's what you want them to think. And the only way to actually do that is to get past the selling thing, dig deeper. Why did you start your business, right? If you sell clothes, was it because you hated going into dressing rooms or you hated shopping and you wanted to create a space where people felt safe and comfortable regardless of their size? Like that's a why. Okay, your post will help with that. So what kinds of posts can you make to help with that? If it's makeup, maybe you're really, really good at it and all your friends are like, oh my God, I'm terrible at doing makeup. And they're always asking you for tips. So your business started because of that and now you sell makeup. Well, if it's because you wanted to help women do better at putting on makeup, well then do tutorials on how to put on makeup, right? Because your why is to help them put on makeup better. The only way to do that is to show them how. So show them how, right? The key solution here, and this is going to be mind-blowingly annoying to hear, but also perhaps freeing, is that Facebook is not a major part of your business. It is right now because you've made it that way. But in a healthy business, it's really not. Facebook is one of a very small, it's one of 5 pillars, and it's a small pillar. It's a fairly tiny pillar, barely relevant, honestly. Because once you're done putting the system in place, you can replace Facebook with anything. You can replace it with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it doesn't matter, Clubhouse. You can literally replace Facebook with whatever you want. That's how inconsequential Facebook is to your business when your business is healthy, right? In today's world, unfortunately, business owners prioritize it and focus on it above all other things to where you're trying to solve non-Facebook problems with Facebook. The fact that you don't have a lot of sales, aren't getting a lot of engagement and things like that is not because you don't have enough followers. It's because you are not at the core of Who am I talking to and why am I talking to them? That's where the issue comes. And that has nothing to do with Facebook. You're going to have that problem whether you're sending an email, whether you're doing Instagram, or you're talking to somebody face to face. Who am I talking to and why? Why? Before you're going to be able to grow, the first thing you need to know is who you're serving and why they would buy from you. Because once they know why they would buy from you, it really doesn't matter if you have 10 followers on Facebook or 4,000, you will make all of the money you want to make. You will, like, literally, you'll be making 10, 20, 30, $40,000 and have 40 followers. It doesn't matter. 20 viewers on your lives. It doesn't matter. And it starts with this perspective. But if you don't know that, so let's say you don't know what I just told you, then you are going to follow the followers. You are going to chase people and you are going to try to get people like you. And it's just going to get harder and harder and harder because that's just not how the algorithm works. That's not how sales works. That's just not how growth works, right? So here are the things that you can do right now. Okay. So first of all, I know that some of you may have already done some of these things. So you may be in this position where you're like, oh my God, I've ruined my business. Don't worry. You haven't ruined your business. You can actually come back from this like ridiculously fast. Here are the 3 things that you can do to come back from this. Okay. The first is remove dead weight from your groups or pages if you're under a couple thousand followers. So if you're under a couple thousand followers, just remove like 20 or 30 people and then wait. Then remove 20 or 30 people and then wait and see what happens. Usually 20 or 30, wait a couple weeks, 20 or 30, wait a couple weeks, and just kind of bring yourself down. If you have a group that is 5,000 followers or more, 5,000 members or more, and you've done this, you can either... there's 2 things you can do. You can either resurrect it or you can start a new group. Either way works, but with that number, it might take a long time to get everybody resurrected, okay? Give yourself a break. You only need 3 to 5 non-sales posts each week, but you have to be writing them to the right people, okay? So the way that you're going to be able to do that is head over to the Direct to Success business page. You can do that by just going to manessa.com. and find the live podcast of this. And there's a link in there. And these links will be also in the show notes, but they'll take you to the target audience and then to the keyword training. And both of those will really, really help you to get a clear understanding of exactly why this works the way it does mechanically, like with this diagrams and everything. And then it'll show you exactly how to resurrect people, how to use keywords to grow. Those are critical steps. Now, it may seem like those are tiny steps, but I will tell you, figuring out your target audience, which is in the link for the show, in the show notes and in the description, is the number one most important thing you're going to be able to do. The absolute number one thing that you can do. Now, usually I have a long thing I put at the end of the podcast, wrapping everything up for you, because this lesson is so, so important, I want to end with this. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. And if you're participating in like ladders, loops, or doing ads just to get your numbers up, that is the exact reason your business isn't growing. Okay. Marinate on that for a little bit. It's going to take time to if this is a new idea for you, it's going to be like, what the hell is she even saying? It took me a while to sort of like really internalize this myself when I went through the process. I remember it's a horrible feeling to recognize that the very tool that you're using to grow is the tool that is like suffocating you. It's awful. And I remember when I realized that, I felt sick because I was like, oh my God, have I ruined everything? Am I going to be able to come back from this? Like, have I doomed myself to an eternity of business failure? You have absolutely not. Don't even worry about it, because even if you have done this, it is not permanent, and you will see changes almost immediately from removing dead weight and really getting clear on your target audience. Those are like 2 main things that will change the entire trajectory of your business. Not just this podcast, but like anything that you've listened to from me, right? So don't wait. Okay, this is the thing. The key is not to wait. Just stop participating in all of those things that don't help you and get started on the steps from this podcast. And before you know it, you will be messaging me to tell me how awesome your business is doing. And I cannot wait to hear that, because you will. But do not keep this nugget to yourself. Please don't. Be sure to review it on whatever podcast software that you're listening to it on, so that other business owners can get in on these sweet tips as well. And I will see you next week. Ta-da! Okay, this one was like probably one of the more clumsiest podcasts I've ever done. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Comments. Okay, so we're looking at the comments now. Okay, so did you just say Kim Kardashian does a loop for 10K? So this is a really okay, whoa, I want to come back up. Okay, so that's a really good thing that you said that. There are different rules that apply depending on where you're at in your business. If you are Kim Kardashian, you can do a loop because you have 1 million followers, right? It's fine. Kim Kardashian can do whatever the heck she wants, right? There is a threshold that you will cross. I do not, as far as I'm aware, none of my clientele are at a threshold where they can cross that. Or neither am I. I'm not in that space either. And the people that I follow, maybe Amy Porterfield, maybe, but not maybe Marie Forleo. I don't really know. But for the most part, there's very few people who can make a loop work. But Kim Kardashian, she could definitely make it work. 100%. As a downline, follow the... Oh, yeah, do not follow your upline without any question. Never do that, even if your upline was me. Still, even if your upline was me, never follow me without question. Challenge me. Be like, dude, why? I'll tell you why. I may be wrong. We can argue it out and figure it out. And then we both learn something, right? It's a win-win. Okay. Elisa says, I hate incentivizing people to invite people to the group. Is that something to do or not? Do not incentivize people to invite people to the group, because what happens then is like, so let's say I tell you, and let's pretend we don't all know the things that we know. Okay. Just because it's easier that way. So now Elisa's in my group. Elisa, you're in my group. And I say, okay, guys, I want you to invite 5 of your friends to my group because I really want the business strategy group, let's say, to be very, very popular. Okay. So, I now, you guys invite 5 people, but none of those 5 people run businesses. You just invited 5 people to the business strategy group. And let's say, we have 17, the business strategy group is archived, so it isn't even active anymore, but let's pretend, because it has 17,000 people in it, right? So let's say 100 people did that. Okay. So now that's 500 dead weight people I added to my group. And the more I do that, the more dead weight I'll get added, which means the more people. Now, yeah, of course there might be some people who will stick around, but it's almost like gravy, right? So like, you know how, when you're making gravy and you first put all the liquid in, you don't salt it then, because if you salted it then and salted it to taste when the gravy is like all liquidy, then when it reduces down, it's going to be way, way, way too salty, right? Because gravy intensifies, right? That's how you want to think of your group. You want to think of your group as intensifying, right? So the smaller it gets, the more intense it gets. And the more intense it gets, the more money people spend, the more engaging they do because they're more intense, right? That's where that comes from. Okay. Amanda, great question. So glad you asked it. Does removing inactive Facebook members in your group help? I see people do that a lot. A higher number actually engage customers out of the group feels like it should help the algorithm. Yes. So yes, Amanda, you can and should, if you notice that you have dead weight, you can remove, and here's how I do it. Like there's no real set number. They just really have to have a process. So my general process is remove about, depending on the size, remove about 5 to 10 people. If you have a bigger group, remove like, oh, I gotta stop recording. Remove like, 30 people, right? And I'd remove them once a week. So like sit down while you're watching TV, get rid of like 30, but remove the people who do not engage, right? So like in your group, so like when you're going in and you're like, okay, I'm looking at these 30, you're like, I don't know this name. Remove names that you don't know. Don't overthink it. Just remove the names that you don't know. And then the people who are left behind will engage. And what happens is that when you remove those 10 to 30 people, Facebook does a redistribution in your group of the algorithm, right? So it will now be like, oh, the group looks different now. I'm going to do a retest. And so different people will come out of the woodwork. So you're going to start seeing different people activating. The only thing to watch out for is that this can become addictive, because now you start getting engagement and you're like, ooh, this is good. I'm going to do it again, right? Ooh, Mufasa, do it again, right? So you go and you do it again. Now you get rid of 30 people. You're like, ooh, more engagement. But there's definitely a point at which you're going to remove too many people. So I don't recommend making this a priority, over the course of your lifetime, as much as it's, oh, I'm not getting a lot of engagement. You know what I'm going to do? Like my sister and I were just talking about this yesterday. She had an event. It didn't get the results she was looking for. And so we started to just workshop it. And I was like, you probably need to get rid of about 100 people from your group. Like, I think that based off of the numbers that we're seeing, it looks like you may have some dead weight in there that you need to get rid of. Because this is really important. You will lose 5% of your customers every year, just like that. Okay. That is the baseline retail number that people lose every year. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are. Every company loses about 5% every year, and most people lose more because 5% is the average. That means that if you're losing those people and they're not leaving your group, they're becoming dead weight. Or if your group is now becoming too diluted, then people who are actually like followers will not get your posts. And one of the things that Cyrus discovered, and I've discovered, and I mean, anyone who's done this has discovered this, is that when you remove people, you have a bunch of people who come out of the woodwork saying, oh my God, I haven't seen your post in ages. I was wondering what had happened to you. And it wasn't that you'd stop posting. It was that your group had become too diluted. So yeah, absolutely. Get rid of people if you want to. Kim, yeah, message me if you want me to evaluate something. I don't necessarily do all the evaluations, but but message me because I do offer that as a service. Christy Dawn, who is our Facebook expert in the squad, does Facebook business page reviews. And so if you want to message me and you let me know what you're looking for, I have a crew of people. So just message me one way or another, you'll get what you need. Okay. And that goes true for everybody in here, by the way, is that, I'm changing my model just a little bit because I realize that that people need a variety of help, and my expertise is in telling you what kind of help you need, but I'm not always going to be the next step that you need to take. And I was having a lot of trouble with that for a while because I was like, well, that's just so weird. Like, why am I going to talk to somebody and be like, hey, let's talk. Okay, I'm not the one you need. You need to go to Syra or you need to go to Christy. And I was like, they don't care who they go to. They just want to do whatever the next step is. So I'm dabbling with offering a service that's like, a business strategy analysis, whatever. But for right now, they're vision calls. So get on my vision call. We'll talk and I'll be like, hey, dude, this is the next step you want. It may be with me. It may be with someone else. I don't know. It just depends on where your business exactly is. But yeah, absolutely, Kim. I love, one of my favorite things to do is just doing business analysis and telling you, okay, this is where you're at. This is where you need to go. Here are your next steps. Bam. Right. So I love doing that. All right. It's like a hamster on his wheel. Exactly, Dawn. He's running and not going anywhere. Elisa says, I consider you to be my business therapist. Dude, it's so funny. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that they see me as their business therapist. Hi, Ashley. Hello. I was about to call you Rachel. Why was I going to call you Rachel? I don't know why. I mean, I know your middle name is Rachel, but true. The who and the why. Oh, Marinette. Marinette, I love your name. I love your whole name. Your whole name is just magnificent. I've never seen a cooler name. I'm so glad you like the info. Kristen, it doesn't matter if you only have 70. One of my biggest people. Okay, so it's so funny. I can't. Oh my God. So I remember I went to this page. It's funny. I don't remember her name now. I went to her page, I don't know, 4 years ago, some coach. And I was just starting out and I had a huge imposter syndrome. Oh my God, such imposter syndrome. And I go to her, and I'd been watching her. She was on Social Media Examiner, and she was like, and she spoke on these big stages, and who is she? I remember her face. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that I went to her, I don't know why I picked her as being intimidated by, but I was very intimidated by her. And I went to her page and she had 30 followers, 70 followers. And I was like, well, maybe she's an Instagram person. And I went to her Instagram and she had 175. And I'm like, okay, well, what does she have on LinkedIn? So she had I think 1,300 on LinkedIn maybe. But still, it's it was still weird. No, it wasn't 1,300. It was 130. It wasn't high. That's the thing. It's none of these numbers were that high. Regardless of what they were, they were just low. And this was back when I had the belief that the numbers were what made the difference. And I looked at it, and that's the moment where you sit there and you look at the proof. The proof shows me that you don't need high numbers to be successful. And I sat there and I just stared at it and I was like, I don't understand how to analyze. I was like, why can't I remember her name? I'm like, what the hell is her name? It'll come to me. I'll post it. When it comes to me, I'll just it's her name. Maybe it was Kelly Miller-Bella. Maybe it was Kelly. I think she has more followers now. I think it might have been Kelly Mirabella because she's the one that I remember being most intimidated by. Anyway, it's not important. The point is as soon as I remember, I'll tell you. I just know she was blonde and she was from that time period of my life. She might not have been blonde. Oh my God, it might have been Stephanie Liu. Anyway, the point is, we're not going to get caught up in look at me. You got me totally fixated on that. The next 4 hours, Vanessa spends trying to figure out who the name is. Dude, we're all you know how it is. Okay. I have a Joe Exotic meme. Oh my God. So the point though, Kristen, is that it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I promise you this. I'm not just saying this because I want you to feel better. I promise you, the number of people you have really doesn't matter. There's so many other things that impact it more. And if the numbers are what's bothering you, then I want to recommend that you sign up for a vision call with me so that we can at least get started and put you in the direction or connect you with somebody who can walk you through whatever that next step is. It might be Christy for a business page review. It might be something else, but whatever it is, if that number is bothering you, then that's why you're struggling, is because the number is bothering you. When we get you to a point where the number doesn't bother you, everything else will change. So I think we can make a really big difference there. But I hope it doesn't bother you, because I think 70 people is amazing. I think it's amazing. I started out with 0 people. When I first started, I had no friends. I knew nobody. Like, and sit with this for a minute. 2013, I was isolationist, totally isolationist. Didn't talk to people. I was completely, I had Alex's friends and that's it. I didn't know anyone else. Like, I would never, if you had told me that now I would be doing this with this many people, with 19 viewers right now? 19? No way. 19 people are going to watch me? That is not happening. There's just not happening. You're wrong. You are just wrong. I can't get 19 people. I don't even know 19 people. It happens, believe me. And it happens when you stop caring about it. So here's my thing. My Facebook group has over 5,000, does really well. Great. That's good. Emails, text, blah, 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 does really well. Great. Emails, text, and anything I've done for marketing outside of the group has always failed. And I've been at it for a very long time. Okay. So can we go back to what you said regarding Facebook and not relying on that? Because that's where I make all of my connections. I have these relationships with these women. Okay. So I'm glad you brought this up, Kim, because when I said you can get rid of Facebook, you can, but you don't have to. So I haven't gotten rid of Facebook, because why would I? Right? Like, I could get rid of Facebook right now if I wanted to and just get my business from elsewhere. Absolutely. Like, I have so many people coming to work with me. I could work off of Facebook, but I don't want to, because Facebook is the easiest thing for me. I know the system. I know the platform. 2.8 billion people are on the platform. So that doesn't mean that you have to leave Facebook. So, give me a sec. Let me just think, because I think I may have misspoken, and I want to draw a little bit of clarity, because I think it's really important. And Christy, I know you and I have a call right after this. I'll be there right after this. Okay. What it is when you're first starting your business and building it up, you have to use Facebook, because Facebook is where all the people are. Facebook is the easiest place to grow the system. It's just easy to put that together. Once you've put that together, Facebook is not relevant. Facebook can be pulled out and replaced with something else. So, Katie, who's one of my clients, she uses Clubhouse and not Facebook. So she has a Facebook account. It's Bella Blue. She uses it, keeps it active, but barely. It's not her main thing. Her main thing is Clubhouse. So if that's where you find your primary thing, then it's okay to stay. However, to talk about your second thing, which I think is important, is the email, the text, the apps. I think it really depends on 2 things. One is, do you want to have all your eggs in the Facebook basket? If you do, and you're like, I'm okay if Facebook crashes, dies, whatever, I don't care. It's fine. Then you don't really have to worry about your app or the email or anything like that, because you've already decided, I don't care if Facebook goes down. Facebook is where I'm putting all my eggs. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm just saying this is the question. But let's say you say, you know what, this is where everybody is, and these things don't work for me right now, but I would really like for them to, because I would like to be able to maintain this relationship fluidly across other places. So I want to get an email from Vanessa saying, oh my God, thanks so much for, blah, blah, blah. And then see her post on Instagram, tag me in Instagram with her thing, or comment on my Facebook post. Like, I'd like to be present in their lives in other ways to help reinforce those relationships. And I'd like for that to work. So for someone like you, Kim, what I would recommend is hiring Katie. So Katie Gunther is also in the squad. So Katie Gunther is in the squad. And I mean, you mentioned that you wanted to connect with me anyway, so let's connect and we can talk about it. But I want you to know the kinds of things that I would usually say to somebody, like, if this is the conversation we were having. The thing that I would say would be, listen, hire Katie, because Katie is going to be able to show you, because she did that for me, right? I don't like email, and I don't do email particularly well, but I know that I wanted it because I knew that I didn't want all my eggs in the Facebook basket. I'm still on Facebook, but I just don't want to be in it entirely. I have other things that I want to do that require my email. So I hired Katie to take care of my email and take care of all of those things, so that I know my email is getting taken care of, my list is growing, things are happening, and then her and I meet out and we do regular stuff. Sheila, for me, Insta is a flop too. So what I do for Insta now is I'm just doing it. What I realized I want to use Instagram for is for people to be able to see my life, my behind the scenes, my stuff. So I'm just posting things and I don't care anymore what it does. I'm just posting it because I want to share things with you guys. Like, that's what I'm doing. That's the same for my personal profile. I want to share things with you guys because if you like who I am on my business page, I want you to have a place to go to come and get to know me and be like, oh yeah, she's kind of cool, and see other things that I do and stuff like that. So it's not super relevant to me anymore on Instagram, whether like I have followers or not followers, because for me, I realize that I just don't have the bandwidth to devote to it. I don't want to, and I am planting my flag in other places that are more important to me than Instagram, but I enjoy using it. So I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to care about it. I've had the same 1890 followers for God knows how long. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I have a lot of, and what's funny is, even though it's going up and down, it's actually getting more engaged because what I think is happening is I'm losing dead weight. Is it okay to ask your customers to invite family and friends if they love jewelry? I wouldn't. I would not. So let me rephrase. The reason why I wouldn't is because if you do a blanket statement and just say, hey guys, invite your friends and family if they like jewelry, people won't do it. They're not going to invite them. They're going to be more likely to invite for specificity. So if I know that my friend Melinda loves dolphin jewelry and you post something dolphin related, then I'm more likely to invite her because she likes something dolphin rather than because she likes necklaces. I'm going to invite her to you. So I wouldn't, because that really just shows that you just want people who like jewelry. And the thing is everybody sells jewelry. Everybody sells jewelry. Target sells jewelry. Case sells jewelry. You sell jewelry. My sister sells jewelry. Everybody sells jewelry. There is no difference between you and anyone else if you're asking them to come because of the jewelry. That's not what makes you special, Margie. What makes you special is who you are and who the person is that you're talking to and your point of view that you'll discover from the target audience video that's in the thing. That's way more important than if they like jewelry. So what I would do is ignore the product that you sell for right now and really focus on the who and the why. And once you figure out the who and the why, that's when you'll know how to ask people to invite their friends, because you'll be able to do it in a more specific way. Like, for example, the perfect gift for the dolphin lover in your life. There you go. Now it'll make them think of who in my life loves dolphins. All right. All right. Kim says removing too many is a downfall. I've had so many people sit in on the group for a year and now they buy a ton. So definitely that's why it's a balance. That's why I say move 30 at a time and then wait a week. 30 at a time and then wait a week. Because once you resurrect a few people, you don't need to, like, if you remove 30 and you resurrect a bunch of people, then you don't need to remove 30 anymore. Then just keep going until the next time you notice you don't have engagement, and then do it again, and then do it again, right? So it's not something you do every week. It's just something you do when you don't have engagement till you notice the engagement changing, and then you stop. Okay, my God, so many comments. Oh my God, so many comments. Okay. All right, how exciting. All right, yep, Kim, message me. It can be from me. It can be from me. I won't be able to write your emails because I hired Katie out to do that, but I can definitely do all the other stuff. Okay. Alrighty. The number doesn't bother me. I just have no interaction. So if I delete people, then I won't have anyone left. So what I would do, Kristen, is two things then. One is really identify your target audience. So I would click on the link in the description and really identify your target audience. That will help enormously. Make sure that you're following this page. Also, go to the Social Strategy Squad. socialstrategysquad.com. Here, do I have that? I think I have it up here. There you go. And, sign up to get on the wait list for this. This is my private coaching group. It's $39.99 a month. Doors are closed right now, but this, I can walk you through this. $39.99 a month. It's closed right now. Doors will open in April, but you never know. Things happen, specials happen, whatever stuff. Anyway, moving on. Join the list. Because if you join the list, then when we open up again, I actually have a step-by-step training that will literally walk you through creating your target audience. It's honestly, not trying to toot my own here, but it's like the best thing I've ever done. I love it so much. I want to marry it. So you have to join the squad so that you can then learn how to do your target audience. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, totally. Kim, then stick with Facebook. Kim says that Facebook is her biggest. Absolutely. And I'm really glad. Thank you for asking me for clarification, because you're just right. And I would have confused a lot of people. This really helps to crystallize it. So thank you very much. Okay. Oh, Insta, dude. Yeah. Bleh, Insta. Exactly, Elisa. Me too. I'm just posting on Instagram for no, sales strategy. Let's just do it. Kim's doing that. Sheila's doing that. Elisa's doing that. I think all of us are kind of just like, let's just have fun with Insta. Because here's the thing, guys. Not everything has to be high pressure for us. Like, dude, it's freaking kill. Like, ugh. I don't want everything to feel earth shattering. That's just what I don't want, right? Sometimes you just want to mess around, right? Have a platform that you just mess around on. Don't give yourself shit for it. Just have a good time. Oh yeah, they'll be back. They'll be back. Alrighty. Okay, by the way, anybody who wants to be added to any of the groups that people talked about on this feed, feel free to just be like, hey, add me, send me the link, whatever. I want connections to be formed. This is great. Okay. All right, you're the best. Yep, Sheila, that's exactly it. Exactly it. You got it. I'm going to share this. Do you have friends that love dolphins? They've got to see. Exactly. And the dolphin, that's the thing. Alrighty. I'm going to share this podcast with my team. They're famous for doing this, inviting people. Dude, it's so common. It's so common. And it's just so painful to watch. A friend shut me out. Wait, a friend did what? Wait, a friend did something to you to buy from you. She bought from you after 2 years. Oh my God, that's amazing. Dawn, you can remove people from your business page. I find it harder because I don't recognize the names. So it's just hard for me to figure out who is who. So I usually go through and like do my best guess. But you can, it's in the, I can make let me know, just send me a ping to remind me and we can make a video and post it. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, yeah. If somebody has Instagram challenges and things like that to boost your creativity, absolutely. Elisa, I know Brenda does those. And actually, I want to leave with that. There's a reason why I don't do challenges, actually. I don't do challenges because so many other people do. And I think that their challenges are great. They're better than the ones that I'd be able to come up with. And I don't want to come up with them. So my whole thing is like, I want to be thought of. And this is just thought, it's like sort of like your strategic guide. When you need help with strategy, come to me. I will help you with your strategy and then send you on your way. You may be working with me. You may be working with Christy. You may be going back to Brenda. You may be going to somebody else. Like it may be somebody that you're working, Roxanne. It may be somebody that you're working with on something else. You may already have a coach, but they don't focus on strategy. You just need help with, listen, I just need the strategy and then I can go do the thing. That is really where my expertise is, because one of the things and that's why I'm trying to figure out exactly how to spin my business, because that's really where I can help. So what I would recommend is share this with your audience, share this with your team, share this with other people that you know who sell products, because this is one of those tactics that when you flip this switch, it has a cascading impact on your entire business and income, more than you would ever get from doing a loop or a like ladder, like way more and way faster, right? So do that, you'll get faster results, all right? You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't forget to sign up for the social strategies. Well, sign up to get on the wait list. And then I will see you guys again. Thank God we're back in routine. Next week, 10 a.m. at exactly 10 a.m. Eastern, because I will have the